And we told you not to wait around for so long because we would be back for the grand finals of the Gym Challenge, Premier Challenge number 16 in Peter Rivera. My name is Cornell once again. This is Dennis Geisler, Brandon Davis versus Giovanni Costa. We've seen the teams before. Well, we'll repeat them when we get the teams onto the screen here, but we'll see on the team sheets here. We have Ndidi, Iron Crown, Fluttermane, Chestnut, Incineroar, and Landers Incarnate for Brandon. And for Gio, it's Golden Go, Incineroar, Ogerpong, Wellspring, Fluttermane, Urshbo Single Strike, and for Rigarap. Interesting matchup between these two teams because they both kind of accomplish different things.
I will say, this is the second day in a row where both of the teams in the finals have Incineroar. That is partly because Gio has been in both and has had Incineroar both times, but Incineroar is kind of good. This is also 2 Assault Vest Incineroars. We haven't seen a ton of Assault Vest Incineroar, but it's starting to pick up a bit, and again, both the teams in finals with that Assault Vest Incineroar. Just commenting on the early meta state.
I mean, Incineroar would find a way to utilize that Assault Vest because when it debuted with the Intimidate ability in 2018, it was pretty popular with that Assault Vest because it really didn't have better utilization options at the time. Like, yeah, you got Parting Shot, but I really am a little surprised Parting Shot, especially not having that much of an impact as it did in Generation 8.
I think having the Assault Vest is more valuable than having access to Parting Shot, especially with a lot of priority right now and just a lot of ways to to hurt Incineroar before it's able to switch out. I've seen a lot of Incineroar kind of hard switching out rather than going for those pivoting moves. But in any case, finals.
Yeah, Brand Finals coming in right now. Brandon Davis and Giovanni Costa. Gio looking to go back-to-back champion with this Premier Challenge weekend. Brandon Davis looking to get back on the win board after his success in Portland.
Yeah, and definitely two of the great players here in SoCal. Tons of great players in SoCal, obviously, but this is going to be a really exciting matchup, I think.
Gio going to send up Fluttermane, Goldingo right here. The double ghost coming in here. Incineroar, Iron Crown for Brandon. This Iron Crown's in danger immediately.
Iron Crown is in danger immediately. I wonder what Brandon saw that suggested this lead. I don't hate the concept of the lead for Brandon in a different matchup, in a different world. But this setup here, I'm just consistently worried about Iron Crown because, I mean, you look at what's against it, or Shifu, well, we don't know what's in this battle, but Golden Go, Fluttermane, Urshifu Single Strike, and Incineroar all pack something that Iron Crown does not want to be hit with, in short.
Kind of has to,
and can force a Terra out of it pretty quickly, or at least a early protect.
I'm more curious about what the Golden Eagle does here, because is it justifiable that you can just go double ghost into this Iron Crown? And I know the answer for Gio is no, it is not justifiable. Incineroar going to come in for that slot.
I think that's smart.
I guess the question just comes down to whether or not the Shadow Ball is another knock out Iron Crown, because remember, this is a booster speed Fluttermane, not a booster special attack. We're not even going to get the chance to find out.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad decision at all. It does mean this will play out a bit slower. Yeah, and it protects from either side, so a little bit of slow reading, and
oh, gets a U-turn pivotally on Incineroar. I mean, yeah, you got intimidated, but that's a good pivotal pivot to get out of that situation.
That's a very good pivot there, and
now comes Ndidi.
Yeah, Ndidi's a nice switch in here. You get the Psychic Terrain up. You can, well, Psychic Terrain isn't pivotal.
Yeah, it blocks Fake Out. That's the first thing. The second thing is Follow Me.
Yeah, blocking Fake Out is the most important thing here. Getting Follow Me and being able to stop, basically anything from hitting Iron Crown this turn. Iron Crown can actually just kind of launch out damage right now.
Yeah, but what's your damage over here? Do you Tachyon Cutter to potentially call out the Fluttermane just sitting there and throw out the attack, or do you just go for something like that Expanding Force? You know, with the threat of Golding probably switching in here, or if you go Expanding Force, you're threatening like 3 things to like resist it very much to the bears of extents. Brandon gonna go ahead and tear Iron Crown of Water.
Yeah, and a lot of options here. A lot of options here for Brandon.
Yeah, you got Terra Blast Water on the Incineroar, you got Tachyon Cutter, you got Expanding Force.
None of them bad, but all of them that could waste your turn and this basically free opportunity that you have right now.
Helping Hand comes out. This might signal Terra Blast Water. I don't think Tachyon Cutter needs a bit of a boost to take out his Iron Crown. Perfect Terra read from this Fluttermane. Doesn't get the special attack drop, and Terra Blast Water will rain from the sky. Is Incineroar going to go down to the Aqua Blast? It will.
Yeah, and that was a really good turn from Brandon. Not a terrible turn from Gio. I think that was basically the best that you could have done because you can't Shadow Ball because a Follow Me could have been coming, so going for a Moonblast into the Iron Crown basically covers either a Follow Me to take away the Shadow Ball, or the Terra, which then wouldn't have required a Shadow Ball in the first place. It was the ideal option between the two. But still, this is an awkward spot to be in. And even still, I think like a Wicked Blow will do a lot of damage here to Iron Crown.
Yeah, and immediately because of this, we are going to see the Indeedee go for the Follow Me here. And we did see the Tachyon Cutter get locked in for the Iron Crown into this Urshifu slot. And it's faster than the Urshifu. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Is this going to get him to knock him with the second hit? It will!
Wow. That is pretty fast and a lot of damage from that Iron Crown. Not what I was expecting.
Tachyon Cutter, a new move coming in from the Indigo Disc, exclusive to Iron Crown, 50 base power, perfectly accurate, and it hits twice.
Yeah, and that was good damage there. Definitely just enough damage to take down the Urshifu, and it has Focus Sash, but that doesn't matter with Tachyon Cutter.
Yes, but now this puts in a situation where Goldango might have to go for a big burst of damage because yeah, it's like, what do you do here? Oh, you always hurt steal with the Goldango. Sure, you get rid of the Ghost weakness, which I don't think really mattered. But I guess the thing becomes, what do you do with the Iron Crown? Because yes, you may not be able to get the knockout on the.
I think
you gotta protect here because I'm not sure if Tachyon Cutter would be able to get a knockout.
Maybe on the Flutter Mane, but not. Other than that, I think the issue here, with the Protect, it means that what I imagine Geo is going to do here is
Make it
rain. And now that means the Make It Rain is going to go to -1 without hitting Iron Crown.
And keep in mind, this Indeedee's still at +1 because of the Psychic Seed. How much damage is this going to be doing with the Choice Base? That's not good. It is not going to be Indeedee the next turn, but what do you do with this Iron Crown? That's going to be reducing the damage, reducing the HP on the Flutter Mane, which is important for Tachyon Cutter, but...
Yeah, I think...
Flutter Mane protects again.
Yeah, and Geo's Flutter Mane doesn't have Dazzling Gleam, so it wasn't able to do any damage to this Iron Crown. So at this point...
Well, just Make It Rain will be doing damage, but it's progressively getting weaker, which is becoming a problem.
That's the thing. I don't know if it finishes off this Iron Crown right now. I think that'll be the big question. Does this knock out the Iron Crown?
We're going to find out right now and see how much damage it's doing. It is not going to be enough
really close.
Knock out the Iron Crown, but I think a subsequent Icy Wind plus Make It Rain will be able to take it out. And Brandon has one more Pokemon in the back. Psychic Terrain's gone, so unfortunately it's Expanding Force now becomes a single target, and he's still having Incineroar and a Chestnut in the back.
Yeah, there's still way too much in the back here. And
wait a minute, if you knock out Goldango, Chestnut becomes your instant win condition. It's the bulletproof.
Yeah, I don't think
unless I'm mistaken, Moonblast.
Moonblast is not bulletproof, but that does no damage.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Incineroar.
Iron Crown goes for the Tachyon Cutter, and it is enough to knock out the Flutter Mane.
Destroy Flutter Mane. And yeah, I think this one's just about done.
Well, oh my goodness, I mean, that's Tachyon Cutter doing it in work. I mean, first of all, it outsped the Urshifu and was able to knock it out through that Focus Sash.
Outspeeding and taking out the Urshifu with one.
Oh no, a -2 Terra Steel, Make It Rain, not enough to knock out the Iron Crown from the Choice Specs. Flare Blitz comes out from this Incineroar. It is enough to knock out the Goldango in one hit. Brandon Davis now one game away from winning the Gym Challenge number 16.
Yeah, and that was an interesting one. I think it was that moment with the Urshifu. I genuinely don't know how much Geo did or could have expected Urshifu to drop in one hit to that Tachyon Cutter, even if he knew it was coming into that slot. That was a lot of damage. And just fast enough.
Well, I mean, Iron Crown is one of the more faster Pokemon in this metagame, and
it certainly is.
Probably one of the more better reasons you pair Indeedee and Iron Crown together, because, you have a fast mode, you have a slow mode.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
It's resemblant to the Shadow Rider Calorex's back in Generation 8, if anyone remembers that Dark Age.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and they work together well in a similar way, where it does pull away any... Shadow Ball is not going to come into Iron Crown while Indeedee is standing there.
I guess if your Geo is like, well, what do you do against Psyspan? Because actually, it wasn't even like Psyspan that beat Geo. It was just Tachyon Cutter and Terra Blast Water.
I think the big issue is getting rid of Indeedee early. Because if you can get Indeedee out of the way, you really reduce the amount of options that Iron Crown has. And frankly, I don't think that the Terra Water Iron Crown makes it really defensive, and I think it's just Ogrepon's Woodhammer that's actually super effective against this Iron Crown right here. But the issue is that if Indeedee is still around, you can't click Shadow Ball with Golden Go or Flutter Mane, and you have to constantly be worried about getting redirected. And I think that Geo has to make sure that that is not happening as quickly as possible, so getting rid of the Indeedee fast is going to be a really important part of how this goes forward.
Yeah, and this is just the problem I think we're going to be seeing from a Pokemon like that Iron Crown, because it was definitely a lot of damage to mostly everything, but you know, there were Pokemon in the back that I think Geo could have utilized, especially that Ogerpon Wellspring and the Farigiraf, to potentially mitigate things like that Expanding Force and the Tachyon Cutter, because Tachyon Cutter is defended by Ogerpon.
It is. That is true.
Let's just see what happens here between these two trainers. Geo now down to the wire here, sending out Ogerpon and Goldango to potentially force the game free. Brandon Davis sending out Incineroar and Chestnut, hopefully to secure him this championship.
Yeah, and that's a pretty nice read there actually by Brandon. I think you have a I'm gonna say you have a free Iron Defense with Chestnut right now. Chestnut does not do anything to Golden Go, but Incineroar does a lot to Golden Go. You could force out the Golden Go right now. You could also force something like a knockoff into it, and Chestnut Iron Defense will build up. Golden Go can do very little to Chestnut other than Trick, maybe? That could be kind of dangerous.
I mean, tricking like leftovers is always a nice thing.
Well, yeah, and tricking on a Choice Scarf will basically make that Pokemon useless.
Uh-oh, that's a big IV culture going into this Incineroar. Not enough for the knockout.
Yeah, at -1.
And there's a trick into what I presume is the Chestnut. Switch items to the target, so whatever it is holding the Choice Specs. Chestnut's going to hold the Choice Specs, which is actually going to be a little bit of a problem, because now the Goldango has leftovers. And I believe Chestnut still has a little bit of room to switch his move for one time only.
Yeah, but this Flare Blitz is big.
Is it big enough? It is.
Yeah, and if that is how it works, and Brandon is able to...
Oh, Incineroar goes down, though, so...
I think that's fine. I think that's fine at this point. If Golden goes out of the way, Chestnut can just click Body Press from now on, and it's going to be kind of difficult to play against.
Urshifu comes in here, and this is a single strike variant, and now comes the Iron Crown, so even if Chestnut is somehow locked into Iron Defense, you do have a pivot of Psy Spam, or better yet, you can Tachyon Cutter, but I don't think that's really going to be doing much against this Ogerpon if he goes for Follow Me.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think at this point, it's fairly comfortable to... You can switch out Chestnut if you want. You can also... Body Press, I think,
Ooh.
And you can feel pretty okay with just clicking Body Press from now on.
Well, I mean, if you do click Expanding Force on the Ogerpon, you do risk a couple of things. First, you risk the Wicked Blow into the Chestnut slot.
Yeah.
Second of all, you threaten the Ogerpon Terra to go for that special defense boost, which actually would matter against this Ogerpon and give it the damage that it necessarily needs. And finally, it's like, if he doesn't go for Follow Me, you could miss an opportunity to go for a Tachyon Cutter.
Yeah, although the worst thing that can happen if you get a Wicked Blow into the Indeedee slot is that Indeedee gets hit by Wicked Blow, which, that's fine. If Indeedee goes down in one hit, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely not. Psychic Seed also proccing from this Indeedee after going for that Psychic Surge ability to summon the Psychic Terrain into the play. You are going to see a Terra come in here from Brandon's Iron Crown to Water.
I wonder if Geo might Terra as well, although the only thing that could Terra at this point is Urshifu.
I mean, Ogerpon might be slower.
I don't... Might be. I'm not sure.
We are seeing a Terra from Geo. I wonder what this is going to be. Is this going to be the Terra Stellar onto the Urshifu, or is this going to be Terra Water and Ogerpon? It is going to be a Stellar Terra.
Yeah, Ogerpon is definitely faster than Iron Crown, doing my basic math, and Stellar Terra, I guess it is just going to unleash as much damage as it can right now, and if it goes into the Iron Crown, then that's...
Follow Me is going to be the choice, so if it was Expanding Force from this Iron Crown, I at least got that call correct.
Yeah.
And it is an Expanding Force with the Special Attack Booster and the Psychic Terrain. Importantly, no Helping Hand. Let's see how much damage this does. Not enough!
Wow, barely not enough. Okay, this is important.
The one-time boost on this Wicked Blow, and it was targeting the Chestnut slot.
Okay, and that's not a bad thing, getting the Indeedee out of the way. It also now means that Yeah, and with the Ogerpon taking that hit, now Ogerpon is just going to be able to follow me. I think Gio's in a really nice spot here because there's not much that you can do as Brandon because of, yeah, Urshifu's a little slower, but now you still have to be worried about the Ogerpon. I think the issue is Iron Crown takes out Ogerpon, Urshifu does tons of damage, if not straight up one-hit KOs.
You gotta bear in mind that the steroid moves for the dark type moves are gone.
It is gone.
But you have close combat as an alternative.
You do, and also Urshifu just does a lot of damage. It's just really, really strong of a Pokemon.
Oh no! When a hammer goes into the Iron Crown, that's gonna be a one-hit knockout.
That's smart. That's really smart.
And now this Chestnut's left going for body presses, but without the fact that you have the leftovers gone from the Skull Dingo that took away them earlier, you're locked in a body press with no defensive boost in sight.
Yeah, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but at this point, well, the bad thing about it especially is if there's a Fluttermane in the back, you just don't do damage to it.
Yeah, at that point the game's over. Over half damage done to the Chestnut there with that defense and special defense drop after the close combat body press into Urshifu. Actually takes the sash interestingly enough.
No, it is very strong. Like this Chestnut does have a ton of defense just base, even without any boosts. But yeah, Fluttermane is out now, and now
that's checkmate.
The battle is over. There's nothing Chestnut can do in this situation, whether it wanted to or not. I honestly, it definitely wouldn't have helped. But locking into Leech Seed was actually the only thing that could have done anything. But even still, it would have gotten taken down by Urshifu the next turn, regardless. Setting aside the it would have lost. It would have lost. The early trick, and that's why you bring trick on that Spectacle Dingo, where you only really need the 3 moves: the Make It Rain, the Shadow Ball, and the Focus Blast. And so bringing that last one for a utility option like that, where you can basically make Chestnut useless, is a really nice move.
Yeah, and that's like another thing. It's like Gio was able to equalize the set because of the Goldingo trick turn 1, and I guess now if you're Brandon, how do you counter that? Because you had the perfect lead game 1, a pretty good lead in the game 2, but the problem is just like Chestnut was shut down turn 1.
Yeah, well, and I wonder this time, because I think that lead was actually a really good spot for Brandon, but, and I said, it was a very easy spot to click Iron Defense for Chestnut. The problem is that Golden Go saw the Iron Defense and was like, okay, I'll do this. If it was a Spiky Shield instead, Golden Go would have gotten knocked out turn 1. Chestnut would have taken... Chestnut would have been fine just sitting there and would have kept its leftovers, and Incineroar would have gotten knocked out at the same time. So Chestnut would have been able to sit there with its leftovers still instead of a Choice Specs, and basically nothing else would have been different.
I guess that's the read that Brandon has to make in 3, because this is now a do-or-die moment for both these trainers, because now you had the fact that Gio can win back-to-back PCs, and he's going to try to do it with Ogerpon Urshifu as the lead. Brandon switching it up with a 3rd game in a row. Brandon going with Landorus and Incineroar. Yeah,
and this is a pretty fast duo, actually, for Brandon. It's actually going to be a little difficult for Gio, potentially. This Landorus might have a really nice free hit onto something.
Yeah, but it's like on what? Because Sludge Bomb...
On what? I'm not really sure. Sludge Bomb onto...
Sludge Bomb and Ogerpon will do enough damage to one-hit knockout before Embody aspect.
Yeah.
Urshifu will survive at least 1 hit because of a focus dash, but it still doesn't worry about a fake... I mean, both these targets have to worry about a fake out. Ogerpon less because he has Spiky Shield.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, do you want to double protect? Which I think is a safer thing to do if I'm Gio, if I'm be honest, to go for the double protect.
Yeah, it's certainly an option.
No protects out mount actually, so Urshifu gonna lose his sash immediately. Ivy goes all into the Landorus and down it. Never mind, it lives at 7 HP. And here comes the Sludge Bomb and Ogerpon. That is enough for the knockout.
That was a very big turn. The Ogerpon was faster but did not have enough damage.
No, it did not, and that actually caught me by surprise personally.
Yeah, that was a extremely narrow margin.
And here comes Fluttermane with the booster speed, and as much as I would like to say Incineroar safe right here, but as much as I wanted to say Incineroar safe here, I don't think it is. because of the fact Stellar Terra close combat could just finish it off.
That's certainly true.
But Terra is an option.
Yeah, Terra's an option, and that's certainly going to help. I think... Not really sure. This is a weird spot to be in, because I do think that even Stellar Terra close combat, because it is at -1, you have to remember.
There's Shields Terra. I had to imagine it's just Stellar Terra into the Urshifu, and it is.
I'm curious. I'm really curious if -1 Stellar Terra does get rid of Incineroar. Past that, it would be a double knockout.
And another Terra Solicitation comes out from Brandon, and this is Incineroar to Grass.
And if it is Incineroar to Grass, then it's totally fine and can then, I don't know, hit something. It will probably knock out whatever it hits.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will go into the Flutter Mane to be safely enough. Oh, Icy Wind going to make it super effective. Will knock out the Landorus as well.
Icy Wind. That is a very smart Icy Wind. It'll do a little bit more damage. Very important critical hit.
Critical hit onto the Landorus when it was down to 7 HP, quad weak, and was a special attacking Flutter Mane. How much damage is going to come out from this close combat? I imagine this is not a knockout anymore, especially because it was a -1. Never mind, that's a critical hit.
Oh, the critical hit at the perfect time for Geo.
That's unfortunate there because your Terra is gone, and that means you have a side spam lead in the back to Indeedee and Iron Crown, and both of them are susceptible to something like that Urshifu.
Yeah, this is going to be an awkward point here to try to work around because, yeah, the Urshifu...
And you can't protect in front of it.
Yeah, you can't protect in front of it. You have no Terra.
Expanding Force doesn't touch it because you still retain the Dark type.
Expanding Force doesn't touch it. You're outsped by Flutter Mane. I do think you have to do something like... I think you have to do something like Follow Me, Tachyon Cutter into Urshifu.
And, okay, well, if you do that, then you have to deal with potential...
Then you have to eat, like, a Moonblast, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Like Indeedee will have to eat a Moonblast, most likely, and I don't think that's the worst.
No, I still think you have to go for Icy Wind here, because Icy Wind's just free enough to give you enough speed to for your Urshifu to be Iron Crown.
Yeah, but maybe.
Because we saw that Iron Crown was faster than Urshifu earlier.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's gonna happen. Yes, it will happen. Oh, wait a minute. It missed something. It missed the Indeedee, and double missed. Double missed.
Wow, double miss on the Icy Wind.
Tachyon Cutter into the Urshifu, taking damage before. That's actually more damage than the last game.
Yeah, that did a lot.
Oh, wait, close combat. Those special defense drop. Never mind. Yeah. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're down to 2 Pokemon, and I think we have a game now.
This isn't interesting. It depends on what's in the back here.
You have an Iron Crown with a special attack booster. It's Goldingo. It's Goldingo.
It's Goldingo.
Okay, here is your problem. You can't really lock in the Shadow Ball with your Goldingo as much as you want to hit the Iron Crown for super effective damage because you have to Follow Me to redirect it. Meaning, you either lock yourself into Make It Rain, or you can lock yourself into the Shadow Ball and hope that you have 2 Moonblasts to knock out the Indeedee. Either way, I think this is becoming tough. It is becoming tough.
I wonder if it's... I think Flutter Mane has to protect here, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that play. I think Goldingo can probably take 2 Expanding Forces.
Follow Me here, so the lock Shadow Ball is not doing any damage to a normal type Indeedee, but I have to assume this is Make It Rain coming out here. Iron Crown faster without Expanding Force, so it will get damage onto this Goldingo. I don't think it'll be much, even though it is a special attack booster and the Psychic Terrain boost. Yep, I didn't think it'd be doing half.
Wow, it doesn't even 2-shot. That's big.
And Trick comes out, meaning Indeedee's in a weird spot, because you're locked with the choice specs, but you have a couple options. You have either Follow Me for the rest of the game, which will protect your Iron Crown for as long as you can, or you lock in the Dazzling Gleam for the damage, which I don't think is going to really work. So I have to assume Follow Me is your choice.
That's what I was going to say. I think Indeedee was going to keep clicking Follow Me regardless of what... Regardless of what item it had, I think it was going to keep clicking Follow Me, and that the question was going to be, would Iron Crown be able to get out of that regardless? So I think that's actually a little bit of a misplay from Geo.
And it also just gives him the option to go for Make It Rain or Shadow Ball here. Yep, Shadow Ball. Tried to read the...
Yeah.
Indeedee going for a different move here. Expanding Force comes out onto both of these Pokemon. They both survive, but they're not going to go down. They're going to go down to the next hit. Here goes a Make It Rain. It's not doing enough damage, and I think we're going to have a new champion.
I think we will. It'll come down to this next turn.
Obviously, we have a protected Flutter Mane, but I think this game might be over. The battle is canceled. Brandon Davis wins Gym Challenge number 16 with an Iron Crown.
Definitely an interesting team there, and It worked.
And Brandon Davis, who got top 8 at Portland, now can proudly brag that he won a gym challenge for himself after a bit of angsty endings back in Regulation C. If anybody recalls any of his finals or his semifinal matchups, Brandon Davis can finally say he has a champion, and that Iron Crown definitely was the biggest reason why.
Yeah, that Iron Crown really, it was interesting that it was both a early game and late game threat, both being able to threaten a lot with expanding force in the early game and then also able to come in towards the end and find a spot where, yeah, Golden Go and Fluttermane were both kind of limited on options next to the Indeedee. It does take away one of Iron Crown's weaknesses to Ghost if Indeedee is out there with the Follow Me. It's a really nice combination there.
Yeah, and that's going to be... I mean, if you want to pick up Psy Spam, this is the time to do it, because Psy Spam is one of the best archetypes you could possibly do so in your early career, because if you learn something like this pretty quickly, I tell you, beginners are going to have a good time with it.
Yeah, I certainly have fun with it.
Anyway, that's going to be doing it here from Pico Rivera, California. We have our champion, Brandon Davis. Giovanni Costa is going to be able to take second place for himself, and that's how this tournament ends. We'll be back in 2 weeks for a Premier Challenge and a mid-season showdown. We'll try to be here for both of them. And this is Dennis Geisler, this is Jesus Coronel, and this is everyone at twitch.tv/BowGaming saying so long, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.